If there is one thing we've learned from YouTube, it's that animation is hard. It can take a month at least for some of the big names in the storytime animation community to upload a single video, including help from other animators, color artists, etc. Notice how I say it takes a month. Now the reason why these videos take a good while is that, for the most part, a lot of effort goes into these animations and to get them ready for their audiences. Now what if we throw all that effort and time out the window and we get these shitastic channels that share totally not fake stories daily from viewers? To cut the bullshit immediately, a good 95% of these videos are fake as fuck. I mean, who the hell wants to share getting breastfed at 16 or all the incest shit, or any of the pregnant at 2 years old or whatever age they are videos? Also, just what goes on in these stories is just completely fake. To demonstrate how absurd these videos are, we shall take a look at this one. I am the only man in my town. Nice title and description there, fellas. So without further ado, let's hop into this undeniable fuck mess of a supposedly true story.
I was the only boy born into a girl's village after 20 years.
Okay, we can immediately determine that this video is bullshit because that is scientifically impossible. Unless they're the Gerudo from Zelda.
When you're the first boy to be born into a village chock-block full of girls after 20 years, let me tell you, that's some burden to bear. All you guys out there are probably thinking it must be like winning the lottery. Girls flocking to your feet everywhere. Yeah, it kinda was like that at first, but then things just got weird.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, that can be possible, but at the same time, don't sperm banks exist in this town? And if a single boy wasn't born in the last 20 years, how were there that many girls born if there were little men? Unless they had a giant orgy.
Okay, so I live in a small village in East Europe, and the women have been giving birth to only girls for the past 20 years. We aren't really sure why, but my village believes that they got cursed from a witch that they kicked out a long time ago. But if you ask me, I think God is the one punishing us for kicking her out.
Yeah, the one and only Justice, the savior that said fuck you to an anti-witchcraft village. This is why Justice is my guy. Those people suck.
On top of all that, people in my village are not allowed to marry people from the outside.
You know, that giant orgy theory is even more valid now, right?
So, the moment my parents realized I was a boy, they quickly wrapped me up in a blanket and kept my gender a secret. They told everyone I was a girl and that my name was Jackie, when in actual fact, I was a boy and my name was Jared.
Wait, wouldn't the doctor or nurse that helped pop you out into this world know if you're a boy? You know what? Okay, I'm skipping forward to find the next interesting and definitely true bit.
I was playing in our backyard when a woman appeared on the other side of the wall. She was dangling some candy in front of my face, and like a little puppy dog, I followed her. I kept looking back, expecting my parents to come running out to get me, but they were nowhere to be seen. The woman asked me to get into her car. Right! And told me that if I was a good boy, she'd give me more candy. I didn't even think twice. My parents never let me eat candy. But then, I realized she'd said good boy, and I turned to her and told her I was a girl. I'll never forget the way she threw her head back and let out a chuckle. She looked at me and said, "Sure, pumpkin, and I'm the president of the United States." Oh, look, there's a flying pig. I fell for it and looked, and the next moment, she'd lifted up my dress and said, "See, you're a boy, you little freak." It's a trap! I didn't understand what she was talking about. And then she explained that I was a boy and that my parents had been lying to me. Then she said the village mayor was offering a reward to the first woman to give birth to a son. And seeing as my parents were keeping me a secret, she'd hand me over and collect the reward money herself. I was too young to fully understand, but I knew I was in serious trouble. I started screaming and thrashing my arms about.
Nice Pixar quality animation there, fellas.
And this only made her drive faster. I have no idea why I did what I did next, but suddenly, I jumped onto her knee. She couldn't see where she was going, and that's when we crashed. We could have died, but I didn't care. At that moment, all I wanted was to get away from that horrible woman. And it was my lucky day, because all that happened was her car got a bit crushed, but I escaped without even a scratch.
Hold on a second there. The car got a bit crushed, but I got out with not even a scratch. If you did slam into that lamppost and you were sitting in the front with the woman, then I'm pretty sure you get more than a fucking scratch. Even the animators agree with me.
Parents had no other choice. They had to tell the mayor and everyone else that I was actually a boy and that my name was Jared. But I like being Jackie, I told them. That just made my mom cry more. And when she switched my dresses for shorts and t-shirts, I felt strange. I thought no one would want to be my friend anymore, but I couldn't have been more wrong.
Huh. I guess he likes being a trap.
When I turned 12, the village mayor started a new tradition. From now on, every year on my birthday, I'd sit on a throne for the whole day, and all the women who wanted to conceive baby boys would come and bow at my feet, and one by one, they'd reach out and kiss my feet.
Oh god, please don't suck the kid off too, for luck.
It freaked me out so much, but the mayor told me he'd buy me a special gift if I did this one thing for the village.
Okay, I'm skipping forward again. I don't want to see what the fuck goes on here.
I was still the only boy. When I turned 18, I decided the only way to handle all the attention was to just embrace it. There was one girl, Sammy, who was actually pretty cute, and after she basically begged and stalked me for weeks, I agreed to be her boyfriend. Of course, all the other girls were jealous, and I was worried I was about to start World War III.
World War III being started by dating one girl and the rest of them are gonna mob you is completely comparable to Germany invading Poland, the Soviet Union falling apart, and the United States and Great Britain had an uneasy alliance, the assassination of Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand. It beats them all out.
Looks like Sammy won. I actually felt like I was really falling for her, and one night she invited me over to her house. Her parents were out, so we started making out. She was really hot. She reassured me they'd only be home much later, but suddenly we heard the door. I leapt behind the sofa half-dressed, and then things went horribly wrong. Well, how did it go? Did he put a baby in you yet? Come on, Sammy, we aren't paying you all this money so you can sit around. Give us a grandson already. I couldn't believe it. She'd been using me. I stood up and gave her parents the biggest fight. Then I turned to Sammy and said, "Screw you. I hope it's a girl you have." Then I grabbed my clothes and walked out. I never wanted to see her again.
Alright, I have several questions. First off, why doesn't a sperm bank and donors exist in this village? Secondly, why were the parents spying on them and didn't just go out? Thirdly, why were the parents only gone for about 10 minutes tops and expected their makeout session to immediately turn to sex, and then they would have done that within minutes? Finally, which it's a girl you have? You guys didn't even fuck. How would she get pregnant unless she and her dad fucked later that night in hopes of getting a Wait, considering the nature of these stories, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happened.
But then later, she fell off the stairs and had a miscarriage. To everyone's shock, Sammy was actually pregnant with a baby boy.
Wait, what the fuck?
But there was so much expectation. They all wanted sons. I wasn't ready to be a father. Babies were so not my thing. I tried to talk to my mom about it, but suddenly she started crying. I told her I wasn't interested in hearing about how much she wanted a grandson again. But then she took me by surprise. She told me she was sick, and that she didn't have much time left, and that she only wanted me to be happy. I felt so guilty. Was I being selfish? Why couldn't I just give my mom what she truly wanted, which was clearly a grandson?
I mean, to be fair, it's your choice to have a kid or not. You shouldn't have to have a son because your mom wants one.
After our conversation, I asked Amy, who lived next door to us, if she wanted to be my girlfriend.
Wait 1 second. I swear this is coincidental.
I kept getting more sick, and Amy and I were having no luck getting pregnant. Then I thought, what if I had another girlfriend too?
Stop supporting the orgy theory!
Asked Leanne, who lived at the end of the village, if she'd like to be my girlfriend too. And obviously she said yes.
There was a right tackle, see, who had an illegitimate child with your slut of a mom. And everyone here covered it up to protect the Bronco name. The only Bronco who lived in South Park. He got a little bored one week and had an affair with a slut named Leanne Cartman.
Please don't judge me for two-timing. I just felt desperate. And then shit hit the fan. Clearly the universe wasn't playing with me. On the same day, they both called me and told me they were pregnant. Amy was a strict Catholic and said her parents would kill her if we didn't get married. So I married her at home and we had a quiet little ceremony. But then, Leanne told her dad she was pregnant, and he threatened to beat my ass if I didn't marry his daughter. I knew I didn't have a choice, but was it even legal?
Actually, it is legal no matter how hard someone will tell you that you legally cannot have more than one husband or wife. Hell, that's where the wife's boyfriend meme came from.
2 wives? But no one would need to know. This all happened in the same week. Suddenly, I had 2 wives and 2 babies on the way. Leanne's dad gave me a job on his farm, so I spent the daytime with Leanne. Then every night, I'd go home and stay with Amy. Can you believe I didn't get caught?
I kinda find that hard to believe because I want you to consider the following. If this fictional village thought a baby boy dying was big news, and some random psycho somehow found out you were a boy, then is it out of the realm of possibility someone was going to notice you were going between specifically 2 girls' houses during the day and night over the course of 9 months?
I packed a small bag and gave my mom a kiss goodbye, and then I took my dad's old bicycle and cycled out of the village as far as I could. I rented a small room at a cheap motel, but then every social media platform reported me missing. The whole village was looking for me.
I actually looked this up, and guess what? Surprise, surprise, nothing about this specific situation further confirming the story is absolute treachery.
One day, after a whole year passed, I heard a knock on the door. It was the motel manager standing there with my 2 wives, and he said, "These women are looking for you." I wanted to run, but I saw that they were holding 2 adorable baby boys. My 2 wives told me, "We want you back. We don't care that you're married to both of us, but if it's too much for you, you can choose one." I hated how my life was like before, but after seeing my 2 boys, I couldn't stay here. My village needed me to have more children. Both of my wives were pretty cool, so I decided to stay married to them both. And eventually, I got a 3rd wife after a few years.
Alright, the end of story's over, but this begs the question. Whatever happened to 4th wife?
I know you're out there, 4th wife.
Anyway, these channels need to be sent to the 8th circle of hell. I'm the nostalgia critic, I remember, so you don't have to.